Welcome to Authentic Entrepreneurs, where I'm having real conversations with other entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Michelle Paczesny, founder of Boss Ladies Creating Empires. And today I'm here joined with Angelina Rivera. And we are going to be talking about building a business while working in corporate America still and what that looks like behind the scenes. Welcome, Angelina. I'm so
Thank you for
excited
having
to
me.
have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I cannot wait to dive into this topic.
I love that. Angelina, tell me, what does your life actually look like right now, balancing corporate, but also building your business at the same time?
Well, one of the things, and it's kind of funny because I actually, part of my business is coaching on time management. And so, how to balance it all is you've got to use a calendar. You have to have a schedule. And I know that so many people, once they become adults, they're like, oh, we had a schedule since we were little, got told when to eat, when to do recess, when to do all the things, right? And we don't want to do that. But I'm not saying you have to be so strict that you plan out every single minute of your time, but you have to have a schedule. You have to get systems in place. I think that that's so important. And that's one of the first things. A lot of people say they don't have time. Oh, if I wish I could start a business, but I don't have time. I wish I could do this, but I don't have time. Well, look at your time. What are you actually spending time on? That's one of the things I have is a free resource, but it's just to track your time and it's to hold
Yes.
yourself accountable.
Mhm.
And if you can check your time, you're going to be able to find some waste in your time. Or if you don't even want to download the tracker, look at your screen time. What are you spending on your phone? How much time are you spending on your phone doing things? And is that actually moving the needle forward? And so that's one of the first things I would say is actually look at your time, what you're spending your time on. Of course, working in corporate, there's things that we can't control, right? We can't control our work schedule. But if you're able to find a workable schedule, like, okay, I'm going to be off at this time, then what can I do afterwards to move my business forward? Working full time and doing your business also is going to require time on the weekends. And so can
Yes.
you spend a few hours in the morning, maybe on a Saturday when everybody else is asleep, and really schedule some time? And I'm again talking about time because you got to schedule it. What can I schedule? Can I schedule 3 hours? Okay, so you schedule 3 hours, you block that time. But that's not just that. You got to put in, what am I going to actually do? Am I going to work on making some schedule some posts for social
Right.
media? Am I going to work on my website? And what or am I going to reach out to some customers? Like you got to put that in, and that is the
Mhm.
best way, to get it to work corporate America, but also to get your business moving forward. Sometimes
Yes.
it's going to look like waking up at 4 a.m. or starting work at 4 a.m. and then
100%.
getting off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then recording podcast or making those calls and doing all of those things. But also, while you're doing all of that, you have to make sure that you're scheduling time for your family because you do not want to have this like burnout, right? And so you're going to have to schedule some time to, or not just burn out, but you want to have that relationship with your family as well. And so when are you going to do, for me, it's always important to have date night with my husband. So right after we do this call
Yes.
today, I'm going to go out with my husband. And so it's always important to schedule some time with your loved ones, your spouses, time with your children, but also scheduling time to take care of your health and move your body. Maybe if you can't, while you're working corporate America and you're, going from one thing to another, can you schedule some time to take a walk, 15 minutes to get outside, get some sun, get a snack and things like that? Because we have to also take care of our bodies because we want to have these like work for ourselves and do all these things, but we also don't want to be forced to work for ourselves because we have an illness or a diagnosis. And I know that there's some things that we can't control, but that is what my life looks like right now. I have family members who are ill. I have a disabled spouse. In fact, right now, my dad just got out of ICU, out of the hospital after
Yes,
a
I
13-day
remember.
stay. Yeah. And so to do all of those things, I've been moving my business forward because I'm scheduling stuff. I'm using tools that can help me get all of these things accomplished. And it's just spending an hour, sometimes an hour, but being
Yes.
productive. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm not here scrolling. I'm actually doing the things I'm doing. In fact, you saw me
To
reach for my
move
phone
your
because
business forward.
yeah, yeah. my phone is on a do not disturb while I'm doing things like this too.
See, so is mine.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's hard because I even had to screenshot my schedule today with my family and I said, hey, this is the stuff, the times I'm recording. I will answer your stuff when I'm done, unless it is a dire emergency, call my husband because I want to make sure that they know I'm available, but I'm also gotta, take care of the things that for my business.
Right. And with you being in corporate, but also building something of your own, what has that shift been like for you?
There are days where it's a little hard because you might have a day where, work
Mhm.
hasn't gone the way that
Very
bad
true.
things at work, right? And things like that. But what I do is as I go into my working for somebody else and then working for me, I
Mhm.
also schedule some buffer time. And I think that that's important no matter what you're doing in life. You got to schedule some buffer time
100%.
because you like even if you commute, like schedule some buffer time where you're actually or buffer slash transition time where you're actually giving yourself some grace if traffic is messed up or whatever happens or a meeting goes over, whatever. But then you get that transition time where you schedule some time just to ground yourself and move from one task to the other because you don't want to take the chaos of the bad corporate day or whatever or the traffic or all the stuff into when you're like say today is the day I make my phone calls to my customers,
Hmm.
my own customers. Am I going to take that negative energy in with me to those calls? No,
No.
I'm not. So I schedule some time right before the podcast, this recording, I schedule some time to go outside, get some fresh air, play with my little doggies, and then that way I'm just grounded. I feel much better. I
Hmm.
wear a grounding necklace to helps me get back. I can rub the stone to help me get focused, get some
Yes.
breathing work in. And so those are things you can do in 5 to 10 minutes, and it'll change your whole energy. And so I think
And a
that's
lot of
important.
people don't think that 10 minutes you could really have a lot.
Hmm.
Like even me, I was listening to music before the podcast to get in that mode and get in that energy.
Yes, and music is a game changer. The right
Yes.
kind of music can be a game changer. And like my husband, who part of the thing is we talk about how do you balance everything. My husband is the one that cooks now for us, and there's some things that he can't do. He became disabled and all the things, so there's certain things he
Right.
can't do. But what he can do is he can barbecue and he can make some good meals, and
Oh,
so he turns the music up to get him in that zone. And just like,
right.
we can do that to get ourselves in a proper zone. And I think that, that's energy state of mind. And I think that that's important.
Me too. And for any woman that's listening now, maybe she's working her 9 to 5 and she's trying to build her business and trying to figure it all out. What would you say to her?
I'd say to her, get clear on what you want to do with with whatever business you want. Get really clear
Mhm.
on what is it that what I want to do. So for me,
Mhm.
one of the things that took me a little bit of time is I wanted to coach and then I wanted to start the podcast and I wanted to do all these things. And for me at first, I thought, well, if I can't do it all at once, I'm not going to do it. But no, you can start on what can you do right now? And
Mhm.
even prior to that, I was doing wellness, and I decided that that just wasn't my niche. What were the people still talking to me about? And it was this time management. How do you do things? How do you create some clarity and or how do you, but the podcast was really calling to me. So I started my business started with my podcast first. My business is called Refine Consulting, but the Refine and Shine podcast is an entity of that. And so I did the Refine and Shine podcast first. And as I got a few episodes in and I got some time available, then I got into like working on the website, doing all the other things too
Mhm.
with it. But it's like, what do you want to do? What brings you joy, right? And so if there's, and so that was what something that I spent some time, I journaled on it, which turned some of my journaling into podcast episodes. And then I was like, okay, people keep asking me about time management. So then I did a beta testing on my time management coaching, and then it grew from there to
Mhm.
distractions. Then it grew into speaking because people wanted to hear some of the things I shared about. And in my corporate job, I had trained people all many years. I developed training programs and things like that. And so I had started having businesses come to me and said, hey, I've read your website. I saw that you've done this. Can you consult from us? So it like once you start to build it, like they will come.
Yes.
But you got to also put yourself out there and you got to do it scared. You got to be out there talking to people about what you're doing because you never know who you might meet. I've met some of the most amazing people, just like you. I've met you from talking to other people, meeting other people, from going to events, hearing about people, these things. You just got to say yes to yourself because we
Yes,
are all one
100%.
decision away, right? We're
Yes.
all one decision away from changing our whole lives. We just have to make the decision to go after our business. If that is something that God has put in your heart, it is up to you to say, today is the day I'm going to do one thing. Maybe all I do is start writing my mission statement or come up with my name or
Mhm.
come up with, or I start looking at people's websites to say, what kind of website do I want?
Right.
Or looking at things like that. Like that's all you have to do is just maybe even if you spend 5 to 10 minutes each day doing something for your business, it's going to compound and it's going to happen. You just have to make the choice.
Yes, 100%. I remember you spoke on this in the Rise Up Summit, which was amazing. Um, Now I want to give you some time to tell everybody what you do, who you serve, and how they can connect with you and your podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for that. So again, my name, like she said, is Angelina Rivera. So my website that you can connect with me is angelinarivera.com. I wanted to make it easy. It also, you can go, my consulting business is Refine Consulting LLC, but that's going to just take you, if you go to that, it's just going to take you to the same spot. So I was like, who am I? I am my brand. So angelinarivera.com. With that, you can find free resources. You can also has a link to my podcast. You can also find all my social media on that as well, links to all of that. But who do I serve? I serve the woman out there who is trying to build that business but cannot find the time. I have a time management coaching program, which is one of my signature programs, and I have different tier levels. And there's sometimes where women don't want to do group coaching. I also do solo coaching as well. I have programs for that as well. I do distractions courses here and there. I also do free webinars here and there on time management, spring cleaning. I also have a Facebook group where I just give tips on Time Boss, like to be the time. It's
Oh,
called Time Boss
oh,
Collective.
I did
How
not
you
know
can
that.
yeah, yeah. I actually need to make sure I have a link to my website to that. But it's just how can you get just little tips. I have a little tip every single day that gives you something to think about. And
Mhm.
it's a free group. It's a free because I think that just one tip a day can really help people move the needle forward. And you can take what you want with it. I don't make it so over cumbersome where you can't keep up. And so
Mhm.
those are some of the things that I offer because there's a lot of people out there who really want to help themselves move forward. They just don't know where to
Yes.
start. And so maybe that's just joining the free group. But I also, when I talk about consulting to businesses, what Refine Consulting is about, besides the coaching programs and things like that, is about there are so many things in our business that we do day to day. And should we be doing should we be doing those taskers, and are they actually helping us with our key performance indicators? And so I go through there, walk through your processes and look at what is the waste? What are the things that you maybe are redundancies? What is the things that you're overutilizing your people for, or that you're underutilizing people for? Maybe you
Mhm.
have too much inventory and things like that. And so I do an overall
Right.
assessment of your business and help you get rid of the things that are not adding value to your business
Mhm.
and eliminate the rework too, because when we have defects and rework and all that stuff, again, that's waste. And so whether you have a restaurant, whether you have a coaching business, or whether you even have like a manufacturing business, I have over 30 years of manufacturing experience. And so that's what I do. And that's what I've trained over 600 people alone in just how to lean out your processes. And so that's who I
That's
am and that's who I serve.
amazing. Well, Angelina, we had an amazing conversation. Any final thoughts you want to share with everybody?
Yes, I've shared this before, so I'm not sure if I've shared it on some of the different things you've had me speak on, but it's one of my things that I think is really important, especially for that woman entrepreneur who wants to become her. It is my shine principles, and I'll go through it very quickly, but
Mhm.
S stands for show up. Show up for you. Show up for the woman you want to become. And showing up means maybe you just get out of bed and you journal a little bit, but show up every single day for you. And my
Love
H
it.
is have good habits. We got to look at the habits we're doing every day. If we're spending 7 hours binge watching on Netflix and all the other things, and we're not doing the laundry and all the other things. We say we want to have this legacy. We say we want to be successful, but we got to look at our habits. And so look at your habits and look at and just refine one of them today. Refine one habit. And my I is intentional. Be intentional wherever you're at. When you're with your family, be present. Don't think about all the other things you have to do. And women, when you're in the shower, just take your shower and don't think about all the other
Yes.
things you have to do. Just enjoy the nice shower and the washing of the hair and all the things. So
Yes.
be intentional, right?
Yes.
And my N is never give up because there's going to be days where life is lifing, right? I mentioned earlier my dad had to be air flighted. It was a bunch of things, but
Mhm.
I still worked when I could on my goals and I still showed up for
Mhm.
myself. And if that's even just making sure I do my self-care, there were times when I'm in the hospital all day. I would just run up and down on in the up and down the stair, not run, but go up and down the stairs of the parking structure just to get that movement in and just to feel get that grounding in. And so that's something that, never give up on yourself, never give up on the goals that God has put in your heart. And then my E is every day celebrate those wins every day
Yes.
because we always want to just go to the finish line. Oh, when I become this person or when I do this or
Mhm.
what about the I just decided on a name today for my business? That's a win.
That
What if
is
yeah, right? And what if I just exercise for 5 minutes and I haven't exercised in 3 months? That is a win. Every
100%. It
day.
doesn't matter how big or small.
Yes,
Celebrate
yes.
those.
Celebrate those wins. There are so many people who have diagnoses and disabilities and things like that. They celebrate that they got out of bed. And why
Right.
do we think that we shouldn't celebrate those things? So every day, and write it down because gratitude is so important. And there's days when life is going to be so hard, and you're going to want to go back and reflect on those things. So
Mhm.
every day, celebrate your wins. And that's my shine principles that I wanted to share with your
That
viewers
is
today.
amazing. I want to thank you for taking time with me tonight and having this powerful conversation. And I will see everybody in the next episode of Authentic Entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.